Welcome to Cuckoo Crazy Crochet. Hi, my name is Ronnie, and today we're going to make this awesome snowman holding Christmas lights. What you will need: you will need a few pins, a darning needle, a pair of scissors, a 4mm hook, some stuffing, some white yarn, a little bit of orange yarn, whoops, some safety eyes with backs. You will need 5. A little bit of black yarn. You will need some blush of any kind. I normally use the pink side. And a brush if you have it. If not, a Q-tip will work. You will also need a stitch marker, a pom-pom, or you can make your own pom-pom, and 4 colors for your lights, and 1 color for your hat. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of my new subscribers, and thank you so much for everyone that's returning. Get your white yarn and your hook ready, and we'll begin. First, you will need to make a magic circle. With 6 single crochets. And close your magic circle. Now we need to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have 12 stitches. And I put my I put my stitch marker in the last single crochet I did. Round 3. 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 2 single crochets in the following stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the second stitch. You should now have 18 stitches. For round 4, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then 2 single crochet in the following. This is your repeat. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, in the third stitch, 2 single crochet. You should now have 24 stitches. Round 5, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and in the fourth stitch, 2 single crochets. This will be your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and in the fourth stitch, 2 single crochets. You should now have 30 stitches. Round 6, 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, two single crochet in the fifth stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and 2 single crochet in the fifth stitch. You should now have 36 stitches. For the next 6 rounds, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you still should have 36 stitches. And when I'm done with my 6 rounds, I will be back. This is what your snowman should look like so far. I wanted to mention, if you get lost during your project, each of these lumps of rows, that's 1 single crochet, or that's 1 row all the way around. Starting at the bottom right here, this is where we put the 2 single crochets in each stitch. If you count from there, always count on the right side of your stitch marker. You count the rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The last single crochet row of the snowman should be the 12th row. This is what I'm on now. So now we're going to start the 13th row. And it is 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then a single crochet decrease. You can do any kind of single crochet decrease you like, but this is the single crochet decrease that I use. Your repeat is 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, a single crochet decrease. You should now have 30 stitches around. Row 14. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. And this is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and a single crochet decrease. You should now have 24 stitches. Row 15. In this row we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 24 single crochets around. Row 16. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 18 stitches, and this is what your snowman should be looking like. Now it's time to put in the 3 buttons on the belly. So get 3 of your eyes, I put the stitch marker in the back, and I place my first eye, my first button about right there. Then I find the hole that's right above it, trying to make a straight line. When you get done placing your eyes, they should be hopefully in a straight line like this. You should have at least 1 row in between each button and at least 2 rows from the top. So once you're satisfied with the way your buttons are, you need to put your backs on them. And make sure you get them as tight as possible. And this is what mine looks like so far. So now we need to stuff it just a little bit. make sure you push down deep around on all the sides, making sure you get every space. I like to make mine firm. You can put in as little or a lot of stuffing. That's kind of your preference. That's good. Once you're happy with the way it is, put your stuffing aside, get your hook ready, and we'll continue. Row 17. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. With the stuffing in here, it makes it just a little bit harder to hold, so I put my fingers on the inside and I hold it with my thumb. And it makes it easier to place your stitches. So your repeat for this row is one single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 12 stitches around. Row 18. In this round we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of the round you should still have 12 single crochets. Row 19. Now we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have 24 stitches. Row 20. One single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the following stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the following stitch. You should now have 36 stitches. For rounds 21, 22, 23, and 24, we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you should still have 36 stitches. Row 25, one single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 26 stitches around. Round 26. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease in the following 2 stitches. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. You should now have 18 stitches all the way around. Row 27. In this row we're just going to put one single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have 18 stitches all the way around. And this is what your snowman should be looking like. Now it's time to put the eyes in. So we're going to come down here to the bottom of the neck, or the top of the neck, right there, and we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between the 6th and 7th row, which would be 3rd row from the top, we're going to put in his eyes. And what I do is I show you. I find his belly buttons, and then I try and line them up so that the belly buttons are in between the eyes. You want to have 6 holes in between the eyes. So if you pull on your work a little bit, you should be able to find the holes. That looks good. So once you're satisfied with the way your eyes look, then you need to put the backs on them. And once you have your eyes on, then you need to get your stuffing out so we can finish stuff this part of it anyway. I'm going to take just a little bit and I'm going to stuff it down in the neck. And now I'm going to stuff the head. Oh, just a minute, I need more stuffing. So I'm going to finish stuffing the head and then I'll be back. And just like the body, you can put a little or a lot in your head. I like my head to be firm too. So now we have 2 more rounds and then we're done. "28. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet, decrease. So your repeat for this row is 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet, decrease. These next 2 rows are going to be a little trying, so just take your time and you'll make it. You should now have 12 stitches around. Last row. On this row, we're just going to do a single crochet, decrease all the way around. You should have 6 single crochets all the way around when you're finished. You may remove your stitch marker and fasten off your yarn. Leave a long tail for sewing, and I'll be back when mine's done. After I work my last stitch, I like to put I like to slip stitch into the next stitch. Now we're going to leave a long tail and make a knot. If you need to add more yarn at this time, if you need to add more stuffing at this time, you need to go ahead and do it. I think I'll add just a little bit more. Once you're satisfied, get your darning needle. I dropped it on the floor, just a minute. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to weave in between these stitches, in and out, and in and out all the way around. Until you get back where you started. Hold tight and that hole should close. Then I make a knot. I'm going to stick it down inside his head and come out a hole. And then I take the yarn and I move down towards the bottom. remember, whatever hole you come out, go in that same hole. And try not to split your work. Split the yarn, it will mess up your work. Once you're at the bottom, we're going to put like an X at the bottom of the snowman, right where we put our 2 single crochets in each stitch. Then you're going to pull tight just a little bit. What this does is it flattens the bottom just a little bit, and it helps the snowman stand up. So once you get done with that, I hide the yarn a couple of times. Now I need to pull up on the yarn and hold it in place and cut as close to the snowman as you can. Once you do that, the yarn will suck right back in the stuffing and nobody will ever see it. So this is what your finished snowman should look like. And he stands up. For the long arm, we're going to put 6 single crochets in the magic ring. Now put 1 single crochet in the first stitch, two single crochets in the second stitch, one single crochet in the third stitch, 2 single crochets in the fourth stitch, one single crochet in the fifth stitch, and 2 single crochets in the sixth stitch. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 17 rounds. Once you get done with your third round, don't forget to turn your work right side out. And put your tail inside it when you can. When I get my 17 rounds done, I'll be back. Once you get done with that, put a slip stitch in the next stitch. Fasten off, leaving a long tail for sewing. And this is what your long arms should look like. One big tube. Okay, for the nose, we're going to make a magic circle with 6 single crochets inside of it. Not going to use a stitch marker because we only have 2 more rows and then we're done. It's just going to be a small nose. So for the next 2 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each row, you will have 6 single crochets. One more row. Once you get it done, you need to turn it right side out. Then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Leave a long tail for sewing. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to move that. And fasten off. There's your nose. All done with the nose. With your white yarn or whatever color you're going to make your lights, you need to make a magic circle. And with your 4mm hook, we're going to put 4 single crochets inside the magic circle. then close up your magic circle. Now we need to put 2 single crochets in each of the 4 stitches. You should now have 8 stitches around, and I'm going to put the stitch marker in the last single crochet that I made. Round 3, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of the round, you still should have 8 single crochets. Once you have that done, you need to turn your work right side out. And put your tail down inside. Round 4. 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. This is your repeat all the way around. One single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets, in the next stitch. You should now have 12 stitches. For rows 5 and 6, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you should still have 12 stitches, and when I get my second round done, I will be back. Row 7, 1 single crochet in the first stitch, then a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. This is what you should have so far, and you should now have 8 single crochets all the way around. We're going to take the time and we're going to stuff it. Round 8, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet decrease. Now you should have 2 single crochets left, and we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of those 2 stitches. In your second stitch, don't fasten it, don't finish it. We're going to take and add black. And cut off our white. Move it out of the way. I'm going to add my black to finish that stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet into this next one. Replace my marker and then I'm going to double knot these together. And I'm going to trim my tails and put the tails down inside my work. And now we're going to do one row of single crochet with the black. You should now have 5 stitches all the way around. In your next stitch, we're just going to slip stitch. We're going to fasten off our yarn, leaving a little tail. If your light bulb needs more stuffing, now would be the time to do it. Now we're going to close the end and we're just going to weave in and out in between the stitches. When you make it around, pull tight and it should close. And then I just make a little bit of a knot there. And then I'm going to hide my yarn. And cut it off. And this is what your light bulb should look like. You need to pause here and rewind a little bit and make 3 more. You need to have a total of 4. And I'll be back when mine's done. I have my 4 light bulbs done, and this is the colors that I chose. and they should look like this. So now we need to make the hat. So keep your 4mm hook and whatever color you're going to use to make the hat, and we'll begin. Okay, I'm going to use this variegated yarn to match my light bulbs. So what you want to do is make a slip knot. And we're going to chain 30. Once you have 30 stitches, you need to slip stitch into the very first stitch, very first chain, then chain 2 and half a double in that same stitch, and now we're just going to half a double crochet one time in each stitch around for the next 5 rounds. I'm going into the back loops, but you can do it however you want. Once I get my 5 rows done, I will be back and we'll do more. Okay, I'm done with my 5 rounds. You still should have 30 stitches around. Now we're going to chain 2. In this round, we're just going to do a half a double decrease all the way around. You should now have 15 stitches all the way around. And this is our last round, and we're going to do the same thing as the last round. Half a double crochet decrease all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end. You should have 1 stitch left, and we're just going to do 1 half a double crochet into that last stitch. And we're going to slip stitch to the beginning, fasten off your yarn, leaving a long tail for sewing. Go ahead and turn your hat right side out. This is what you should have so far. Now we're going to close the hole at the top we're just going to weave in and out, whoops, of our stitches until we get all the way around. Once you get all the way around, pull tight and make your knot. Now get your pom-pom, or you can make a pom-pom. I'm going to go up inside my pom-pom and then come down maybe there. Come out your pom-pom just like that. And then we're going to go down inside the hat. We're going to turn our pom-pom, we're going to turn our hat wrong side out. Pick up a couple stitches and make a knot. Now you can weave in your ends and I'll be back. And this is what your finished hat should look like. So now we need to get all of our parts ready and we're going to crochet the snowman together. Okay, first of all, we're going to put his nose on. Well, first let's stuff it just a little. This might be a little tricky, so I'm going to get my stuffer out. It shouldn't take a whole lot of stuffing. Just poke it in there as best you can. I'm going to take some pins to hold the nose on. That's about where I'm going to put it. We're going to just go down inside the snowman through the nose. Or maybe you can see a little bit better. I'm going to come up behind the stitches. And then go to the next stitch over, go behind the stitches, down through the nose, and out the head. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around until the nose is sewn on. Once I get my nose sewn on, I'll be back. Once you get the nose sewn on, if it's dented in, just take your needle and pull up underneath it. Now I'm going to tie these two ends in. And I'm going to hide it in my work. Once they're sewn in, pull up on the yarn, cut it off. And that's what this face should look like so far. You get your black yarn out. And we're going to put a smile on his face. We're going to come in through the head, the side of the head, one row below the eyes, and one hole beside the nose. That would be 2 holes beside the nose. You come over and do the other side. And then I'm going to come up through a hole and like wrap my yarn around the mouth, go back down in the same hole, just like that. And now I'm gonna, sorry, I'm a little hoarse today. Now I'm just gonna tie my yarns together and weave them in, and I'll be back. Okay, before moving on, we need to stuff our arms. You don't need to stuff them a whole bunch, but they do need stuffed. Alright, once you get your arms stuffed, we're going to sew the end together. So I'm going to show you how on this one, and then we're going to pause, and you're going to do the other one on your own. So we're just going to put the tail on the side, line up them stitches, and we're just going to go back and forth underneath the V's. And sew in our end. When you get down here to the end, we're going to make a knot. Once that is done, you want to try and make a cup in his hand. How you do that is just press your thumb or your finger down and like mold it. Alright, now pause here and finish your other arm. Now we're going to sew on his arms. Going to put him about the middle of his body and put pins in to help hold it down. And we're going to put a stitch along the side here. Come up. You should be able to see where your stitches are. Hope you can see what I'm doing with it being white. Going to put a stitch along the side here. And we're going to bring our needle, pull your arm out, about there, come about up here. We're going to put a tiny stitch up here too. So measure about where your yarn is and go in the arm, in one hole of the arm, about like that. And then go back down inside the body and come out the back somewhere and pull tight. Now get your other arm and do the same thing. So I'll go ahead and pin it in, and then I'll let you sew this one in on your own. tricky part is getting them about the same. I think that looks good. I'm just going to pin it in place. And I'll be back when this arm is fastened on. Once you have both the arms on, you may go ahead and double knot the tails in the back. Cut off the excess yarn and hide your yarn in your body somewhere. And I'm just going to pull his arms out just a little. And this is what you should have so far. So now set him aside for a minute. Get your black yarn again. Well, let's do it this little way. We're going to go up. We're going to go in his arm and then go up and out the dent that you made in his hand. Leave a tail for sewing. Now we're going to go through each light bulb. Just somewhere around the black part of it. This is the tricky part. You need to go back in the other hand, down the arm, and out. Without getting all tangled. Tighten them on each end. Get them where you like them. That looks good. So now we're going to go back in the arm and down through the body, like so. Do that with both your ends. And then we're going to knot them together and hide them in the body. And I'll be back when mine is done. And this is what you should have so far. So now we need to fasten his hat on. I put it on his head, up to his eyes, and then I put a couple pins in him, just to hold the hat in place. And then I put a few stitches around, so in case you have a child that's playing with him, he can't pull the hat off as easily. So you get the same color as your hat. Put it on your hook, your needle. We're gonna come in like on his face. In between the stitches. Don't forget to leave a tail for weaving in later, hiding your work. And I'm just going to go every so often. I'm going to put in a little tiny stitch. Let's zoom in so you can see what I'm doing a little bit. I go about every 3 stitches and then just put in a stitch. I'm going to do this all the way around his head, or his hat. Then when you get back to the beginning, you need to come out the same hole you originally went through. Tie your knots, hide your ends, and I'll be back. For the final touch, every snowman should have rosy cheeks. So I got some blush here. I'm just going to take a Q-tip because I don't have a brush. And I'm going to put some of the blush on. We're just going to give him some rosy cheeks. Just brush it on your snowman just like you would your own face, if you're a female. or if you wear makeup. Don't forget the other side. Blow on his cheeks a little to get the extra off. And there's my little snowman. And he sits up. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my tutorials. Thank you so very much for watching. Be safe. Until next time. Bye.